Hey, what's up, guys? Here I am doing another video. Doing another kind of React video today, but I didn't want to title it React just because I wanted to do a little bit of a different style where I'm going to talk about what we're about to watch, and then I'm going to throw it up onto the screen, and then I'm going to say some more stuff. So it's not so much a React video today as it is using a certain video clip that I came across to kind of set the tone or set the context for what we're talking about today. And so, as you can see, maybe from the title of the video, I came across a Charlie Kirk video, and just in general, I mean, I'm not like a huge supporter of Charlie Kirk. I'm not against him either. I just don't want to say like, well, this is a person I fully endorse, and this is somebody who like everything that they say I stand by. But he has some pretty good takes on some stuff, and I don't really care too much for his like interview style stuff that he does, but this Q&A type town hall stuff that he does is usually pretty good. And I decided to listen to this video, and then right at the very beginning of this video, there was a question that's asked, and he gives an answer that I wasn't expecting. And so when I heard this morning on my way to church, sometimes I just play YouTube videos as like podcasts, and I just listen to it on my way to church. And so I heard this, and I really thought that it was insightful, and something, again, it was very surprising for me to hear him say what he did. And so let's see what that was in 3, 2, 1.
Those of whom which they may not be able to disagree with politically speaking. And how can they establish a dialogue and conversation, like being able to talk about anything like politics, COVID, or events without feeling like they feel like they're going to have to force it upon them?
Yeah,
if that
look,
makes sense.
Yeah, for family members especially, or yeah.
Especially, yes.
Yeah. So look, this is a tough thing, right? Let's first talk with your parents about your parents. I'm a big believer in the biblical commandment of honoring your mother and father. 99.9% of the people in this room have no excuse not to honor your parents. I don't care if they don't share your politics. I don't care if they were nasty to you. If they were legitimately abusive in a very serious way, then yes. Okay? But 99% of the time people say, well, I just don't get along with them. I don't like them. If you cannot honor your parents here on earth, then you will not be able to honor the eternal and divine Father, of which is much more important, by the way. It is a step and an intermediary to that. Secondly, with honoring your parents, it is the only one of the 10 commandments that involves your nation and a promise. Honor your mother and father so that you may live long in the land of which you are in. One of the reasons why America is falling apart is because we have decided to break this commandment, and we are teaching children to no longer honor their parents. A nation that no longer honors their parents, you have a bunch of 17-year-olds that think their parents are dumb and stupid, and they do what they think is right in their own eyes, and that creates a morally chaotic, miserable country very quickly. So I just talked about that on the parents. Do everything you possibly can to not allow divisive politics or different ideas to get in the way of your family relationships or your close relationships.
And so I don't know if you caught that, or I don't know if that's interesting to you, but it was really interesting to me because I just didn't expect for him to answer in the way that he did. And so what he quoted was Exodus 20:12, which is one of the 10 commandments. And it says, honor your father and mother, that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. And he's actually right that this is the first commandment with a promise attached to it. And so I thought that was really interesting. I think I knew that before, but it was never really something I put a lot of thought into personally. And so I wanted to do a little bit of study on it. And so I looked into it, and there's some other things that we can look at here. And so another kind of cross-reference passage that we can look at comes from Deuteronomy 6:3, which says, hear therefore, O Israel, and be careful to do them, that it may go well with you, and that you may multiply greatly, as the Lord, the God of your fathers, has promised you, in a land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. And so really interesting supplementary kind of cross-reference passage here about how when you fulfill this commandment that I'm giving you about honoring your parents overall, and putting this into practice, there's a promise here, and it really is for following all of God's law. So let's be clear here. It's not. I don't think that it's specifically if you only honor your father and mother, but then you don't do any of the other 9 commandments, and on top of the other commandments that God has, that you're gonna be able to live long in the land. So let's be clear. I do think that it's the fulfillment, it's the faithful following of all of God's law that will bring success to a certain degree. And I just want to say that because for the Israelites, there was a very clear promise that you're going to get to go to the promised land one day. And so long as you follow my laws here and now, you're really going to get to go there, right? And so that was kind of a if-then type situation for the Israelites. That's not always going to be the same thing for us, though. We don't have a promised land that we're looking for here on earth, right? Our true promised land is heaven. And so overall, if you follow God, if you have really obeyed Christ, if you have really given your life over to Jesus Christ as a follower, as a Christian, then you will get to spend eternity with him. And so that's kind of our great promise that is even better than the one that the Israelites had. But I just wanted to make mention of that it is the overall following of the law. However, there is some special emphasis here made on the honoring of your father and your mother. And it's not only in the Old Testament, it's also in the New Testament as well. And that comes from Ephesians 6:1, which says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise, that it may go well with you and that you may live long in the land." So Paul here is quoting the 10 Commandments. He's bringing that to attention, but he says in his words, for this is right. It's a good thing to do. This is still in effect, is what he means to say. And yes, it's not so much that we're doing this in order to receive something, as the Israelites were doing in essence. This is just right. It's right in God's eyes, and it's honoring to the Lord that you would obey him. And so I wanted to bring up this topic today because we have Mother's Day coming up. We have Father's Day also kind of around the corner. And so I wanted to bring this up because I want to charge you today, as I charge myself and encourage myself to do, to honor your parents. Your parents are the people in your life who are and should be doing their best to guide you in the way that you ought to be living. Now, I know some of you out there may have only one Christian parent or no Christian parents. Still, I believe this commandment applies because, everyone is made in the image of God, and to some degree, your parents can teach you things that are still honoring to God, right? They're hopefully teaching you stuff like don't lie and don't steal, which are also part of the 10 Commandments. There's going to be something, at least, that your parents, even as a non-Christian, I don't want to say something. There is still a lot that a non-Christian parent can offer you. It's just that the Christian parent, of course, can offer you so much more because they know the Lord, they know Christ, they know the Holy Spirit. And so because they know God intimately, they're already walking with God intimately, and they're bringing you along the way in that for a period of your life until the day where you're really kind of set out on your own, learning how to do that for yourself. But there is a period of your life, especially in your youth, where honoring your parents is really essential. It's a unique thing that you're doing in your youth because, as I said, they're really training you up in everything. They're teaching you just about everything that you need to know as far as how to worship God, how to really follow Christ in this life. And so I bring that up today, again, as an encouragement. I hope the topic is interesting to you and important to you because our parents are so very important. And it is a really special thing that we get to do on this earth, which is like to have this relationship with parents. And for anyone out there that doesn't have a good relationship with parents, I just encourage and ask you today, whatever you can do, and if things are out of your control and your power, then we know that it's in God's hands. But whatever you can do to honor your parents, to love them, to reconcile with them, to forgive them, I challenge you today to do all of those things so that you can live out this commandment to honor your parents. And so with that, I hope you liked the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, share the video if it's cool and you want to share it. But that's it. God bless you. Love you. Peace.